What is going on, my beautiful people? Welcome to yet again another episode of the Pivot Mindset Podcast. My name is Justin. I am your host. And man, we get to do this thing again on another episode. If you're listening, if you're checking this podcast out, I just want to say thank you. I want to appreciate you for tuning with your boy on another episode, man. I really don't take for granted the fact that every single time, whether you're listening to this for the first time or you are a community member, you're listening to all of our episodes. I just don't take for granted that you guys show up again. So I appreciate you. Seriously, I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you supporting. I appreciate you sharing this podcast. And I'm gonna just keep doing this thing until God tells me differently. That's what I've just come to grips with. That we're gonna continue to grow this thing. We're gonna continue to destroy, blow up this thing, provide value, give value to other people. What I do know is that there is so much fluff out there in the world that I do believe that this podcast is necessary. I believe that this podcast is important to ensuring that you don't blow the bag, that you don't blow your life, that you don't get so distracted by all the things that are out there that are yet to set to distract you. So yeah, let's dive in, man. So if you're checking out this podcast for the very first time, we believe here that life is all about the pivots, and those who decide to make the pivots decide to become successful. That success is a deliberate decision that you get the chance to make each and every day. And you make the decision to be successful by your ability to make pivots in life, by your ability to make the adjustments, by your ability to be going one way, find that it's not working, make a shift to go to different direction. That's how you make the pivots in life. So that's why we call this podcast the Pivot Mindset Podcast, because it's all about the mindset, man. Like I've come to grips with the fact that I can have all the things happening in my life, but if I don't have the right mindset, it's almost impossible to accomplish anything that I desire. So let's get into the episode. I want to talk about your relationships. Coming out a little hot. I want to talk about your relationships in this episode. I don't know if I talk about relationships enough, but this episode, we're going to do that. We're going to do that in this episode. One of the most critical factors into living a pivoted life is how you handle and manage your relationships. This could almost be a series for real. Like there could be a relationship series on friendships. We can have one on coworkers. We can have one on professional relationships. We can definitely have a couple episodes on marriage. We can have episodes on family, like your brothers, moms, sisters. Like there's so much about our life is hinged on our ability to handle relationships well. What I found is that my life has been changed by one major thing. I heard a quote said, and it goes something like this, that you will be the same place you are next year, except for the books you read and the relationships that you create. I'm going to repeat that again, that you in your life will be the same person you are at this time next year, except if I were to provide a out of being the same person, it would be based on these two things. It'll be based on the books that you read and the relationships that you develop. So I want to talk about the second part of that. I want to talk about the relationships. If we want to continue to level up in life, right? Like if you want to be audacious, if you want to kill your goals, if you want to accomplish many things that you cannot currently or have not currently accomplished in your life, I'm confident that all this thing really boils down and can settle down to is the kind of relationships that you have. There is a couple types of relationships that I believe that everybody has, and I'm going to describe some of them. And if any of these checks the boxes for you, let me know, but I'm just curious to know where they are with you. So the first relationship that I believe that everybody has is everybody has the safe blanket relationship. The safe blanket, you might be just, what the heck are you talking about? What is the safe blanket relationship? The safe blanket relationship is the relationship that person is a safe blanket for you. Not that person is helping you develop, not that person is helping you get uncomfortable, not that person is even helping you level up or become better in life. But they are just a constant. They are a safe blanket. They are somebody that you know, that you trust, and they are safe. Like, you know that over time they've proven to you that they won't put your business out on the streets, that they not gonna leave you hanging, that they are consistent and they are a safe blanket. And I believe everybody's got that safe blanket relationship, or not maybe that everybody has it, but everybody should. I think having a safe blanket relationship is important, right? Like, as you look at your relationships, here's the challenge with the safe blanket though. The safe blanket, the challenge with the safe blanket, it is exactly in just that. It is a safe blanket. And if you want to remain where you are, you cannot lean on your safe blanket relationship. If you want to remain where you are, sure, your safe blanket is going to keep you safe being where you are. But the challenge with the safe blanket is they don't actually challenge you to become the best version of yourself. The challenge with the safe blanket is they are in a state of mundaneness and mediocrity to the point that they don't even challenge themselves, so let alone challenge you. And so I'm not saying you can't have the safe blanket, but I think the safe blanket relationship has to be put in its proper place, especially if you're looking to grow, you're looking to have a growth mindset, you're looking to live a pivoted life, right? You got to be careful about that safe blanket relationship. Often I think our safe blanket relationships are people that we grew up with. Like, these are people that maybe you rocked with as a kid and you grew up with and y'all hung out, and maybe like they just become a safe blanket for you. You stop challenging each other, right? So safe blanket is the first relationship I want to talk that, I want to, you check your relationship, see where you are, and see what safe blanket you have. Here's the other relationship. There is the challenger. And these are not, like, I'm making all these up, okay? These are just how I've defined certain relationships in my life and how they have or have not been beneficial. There's the challenger. So the challenger gets a bad rap. There is this challenger relationship where the challenger is going to just do that. They're going to challenge many aspects of your life. The challenger is really never satisfied with your success. The challenger is always focused on you becoming the best version of yourself. They only are going to push you to the next level. Their mere focus and goal is to challenge your very existence, right? Like, they're going to be critical of you. I want to tell you, man, that the challenger relationships that I've had in my life have been the absolute most fruitful relationships. Not that they felt the best, but they've been the most fruitful relationships. Meaning, once I got into that relationship, that I was able to produce things and I was able to go beyond what I thought I could go and produce things that I didn't know that I could produce, because I had a challenger in my corner. I had somebody who was not the comfort, like the blanket, the comfort blanket, right? I had someone in my life who would call me out on the things that was not accurate, that was not good, that was not right, not based on anybody else's claim to fame or anybody else's measure of success, but they could call me accountable and call me to a higher level to be the person based on what I would consider success. Meaning, I've spent time speaking to this person about my vision, about my goals, about what I want to accomplish, about what I believe that God has called in my life and placed in my life, right? So you have the challenger. I love the challenger. Here's the downside of the challenger. The challenger, they don't know how to not challenge you. The mere fact is that the challenger, they struggle with seeing your humanity because they're always pushing beyond your feelings and they're focused on the next level. And you need a healthy balance of the two, right? You need the comfort blanket, you need that relationship, but you also need the challenger. You need the person that's gonna say, hey, dude, you think you're killing it, but you're only killing it because you keep living around people who live mediocre and average lives. But get around people who live better lives, and I promise you won't think you're killing it, right? Like that. The challenger is going to say statements like that. The challenger is going to say things like, hey, why haven't you done that yet? Or what's stopping you, or what's holding you back, right? The challenger is going to simply challenge you. And here is the other relationship that I think is really important to have. I don't know if we give this person enough credit in your life and in our lives, but let's talk about and I hate using this term because I don't believe that I have these, but I'm using the term to section the people off that I believe I don't have a better title for at the moment. And that is the hater, right? Like there is the hater that's out there. There is the relationship. And I consider this a relationship. The reason why I consider the relation, because it's like, dude, why most people wouldn't like, why would you have a relationship with somebody who is a hater of all you do? The truth is the hater has one of the most important roles truly in your life. Like the hater. So I read this book and it's called, I read a couple books from this author, I should say. So Tim Grover is one of my favorite authors, and he wrote two books. One is called Relentless. And then the other book, what is it called? The other book is, I forget the title to the other book, but Winning, that's what it is. Winning and Relentless. Those are the two books that he wrote. Both of them are phenomenal books. If you are looking to get uncomfortable, if you're looking to win, if you're looking to, like, literally the books are based on, like, the title of the books. If you're looking to win, check out that book. If you're looking to be relentless, check out that book. Really good books. I think that they epitomize like what it means and what it takes to be successful. The author of the book uses a lot of connections with his experience coaching Michael Jordan and coaching Kobe Bryant. But that's not where I wanted to go here. The point of the story that I wanted to pull out from the book was he talked about something in his book called the dark side. And the dark side is a aspect of you that you go to when you really need to maybe create something really good, and using the positive things just isn't working, hasn't been working. Like, hang with me here. There is a, like, I'm curious to know if any of you guys do this. I'm confident that somebody else does this, that you guys probably do this. I'm sure it's not just me. But man, you ever been in a season in your life where you just know you got to dig deep and go down further to go to a place that you know you need to dig down deeper to like take that next level? It might be another level of grind. It might be another level of hustle. It might mean that you are putting aside your excuses to go towards the things that you truly desire and to be intentional about your success. There is a dark place and a dark side that I think you gotta, I know at least for me, mentally, I go to a place that it can get very ugly. What do you mean, Justin? I promise. Hang in there with me. When I say this side can get ugly, it means that you are really looking at, you are almost using the pain that you've experienced in your life, and you're using that as fuel. You're almost like, Kobe talked about it in the Mamba mentality. Like, a lot of people talk about the Mamba mentality like it's something to be desired. And truthfully, the Mamba mentality is a toxic mentality. Like it's a dark side, because you almost have to bring up things that hurt you and use that as momentum or fuel to accomplish things that to other people may seem impossible. That is the Mamba mentality, right? And so it connects kind of with this dark side, because he talks about in the book, like, people that are great, most of them talk about this dark side. And often this dark side is from trauma, experience, abuse, things like, or hate, right? Like, or just anything. It wouldn't even be trauma related, right? But it's anything that you can use to conjure up some kind of narrative or some kind of message to allow you to push yourself further in life. That is the hater. And so I say that the hater is one of the best relationships, because check this out. I got some haters in my life, and I don't even think they're really haters. These are just people that they may have critiqued something that I knew was wrong. And I've replayed that narrative in my head to push me even further. Like, I've used their language and their words to me, and I've used what they said I couldn't do, what they said I couldn't accomplish, what they said I couldn't have, and I've used that. And I've leaned into it to become the best version of myself. We used to playing football, we used to do this a lot. Like we used to almost challenge each other, but challenge each other in a way where, like, it's almost like you would talk so much trash that now, for the second that you're playing football, right, the second that you're that play, you completely forget that person, you actually know and love that person. When the ball hikes, you're like, okay, we locked in. We're going to the next level. Like I'm getting ready to go all in. I'm getting ready to go hard. And so, like, I'm talking about this one a little bit longer because I think the hater has been misused. So many times people look at the hater out there, and we treat the hater like they're a negative force in our life. And truthfully, they do bring a negative energy, but that energy can produce something positive, right? So don't run away from your haters. I think it's a benefit. I think it's a true skill, a true level of mastery to be able to take not just the people, but the words that things people have said, things that people have said you couldn't do, things when people said that you couldn't accomplish something. You being able to take all of that and being able to pull it together and muster it into a strength, into a momentum, into a force that would allow you almost enough passion and enough, may I say it, like pissed off mentality that you're like, man, come hell or high water, I am going to get this thing done. And I know when I get to that mode, I don't think about the people that wants me to be better. Like I think about the people who said I couldn't do it. I think about DJ Khaled talks about, they didn't want us to succeed, but God did. They didn't want us to do X, Y, and Z, but God did. It's like there's a level of like motivation that I get when people don't want me to do something, right? Like when people don't think you can accomplish something, there's a level of motivation. There's a level of like fire and passion. It just like, it just amps me up, right? So the hater, that's the third relationship. And let me think about a fourth one, because I don't have a fourth one in my head right now. But if I thought about the fourth relationship, so we talked about the comfort blanket, talked about the challenger, we got the hater. Let's talk about the lover. Let's talk about the lover. I think the lover is a person who they truly love you for you. Like the lover is a person that it doesn't matter really what you accomplish. It doesn't matter how much money you make. They really don't care about the mundane or the details of your life. Like they don't care the fact, how many degrees you have, how much money you made last month. Like those things really don't matter to them. What they truly care about though is they care about you, the person. They care about how you're doing. Like they care about your mental health. They care about your physical well-being. They care about where your emotional health is like. They care about the fact, like, are you treating yourself well? Are you loving others? Are you spending time doing the things that really mean something, that is really meaningful in life? The lover, and this is interesting because when I'm thinking about the lover, like every relationship that I've thought about, like people have come into my head that fill that role in my life. And the lover, that person definitely is my wife. Like she definitely, like I consider her like the lover in my life. Like not just like the love of my life, but the lover, meaning there's a person who like she just doesn't care about what I accomplish. And sometimes it gets annoying. Right? I feel like I'm such a challenger that, like, as a person, like people call me when they want to be challenged. I think people call me when they want to get pushed to the next level. People work with me as a coach to get more out of them than they can get currently out of themselves. So I'm naturally am kind of on the challenger side, but I know my wife is naturally like she's a lover. She's the kind of person, she doesn't care about any of that. The lover, here's the good part about and the bad part about the lover. The lover is they will love you for you. Here's the bad part about the lover is that they will love you for you. Like the bad part about the lover is they just love you for you, that they may not care, or maybe they not, it's not, they'll care about your growth. They'll care about your success if you care about your growth and if you care about your success. What they care most about is just loving you for who you are. That is the lover. But that's also the curse. That's the gift and the curse in that particular relationship. And so, Justin, why are you like talking about these relationships? I wanted to define some relationships in this podcast, in this episode, because I just really wanted to let you know, and I could probably add another 10 to 15 more topics or different types of relationships here. But I just wanted to encourage you, man, that your relationships are so important in your life, and that everything that you want to accomplish, everything that you want to do, the kind of person that you want to be is going to be based on the relationships that you cultivate, that you start, that you grow, and that you kill. Like the kind of life that you want is going to be based on the relationships that you grow, that you cultivate, and that you kill. And if you do not learn that you've got to be able to grow some relationships that you currently have, the level that you want to go, you may have to start some relationships that you currently do not have. Sometimes I don't think we understand that, man. The thing that's stopping you from going to the next thing is not information. It's the fact that you don't know anybody that has accomplished that yet. It's proximity. It's starting a renewed relationship. You've got to start a new relationship. And the third thing is, I'm not sure that we are really as intentional as we should be about killing certain relationships. There are just relationships that you know are holding you back. If you keep it honest, you know deep down inside that relationship is holding you back. That whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's a relationship with a friend, whether it's a family member, like you just know that person is sucking the blood and the energy and the life, not just out of you, but out of your dreams. They're sucking the life out of your visions. They're sucking the life out of your goals. And every time you connect with them, every time you talk to them, you get unmotivated. You get demotivated to really being all that God has called you to be. And so in this episode, man, I just want to encourage you to look at all your relationships and start to slot them. I want you to start to give your relationships identity. And I believe if you can begin to give your relationships identity, you can start to find where the gaps are in your relationships. Like what if you thought about your relationships as like a map, right? And you based on the kind of relationships, you'll be able to see which ones you're lacking in. I think that all of us need these kinds of relationships, but we often don't have them. And so I just want to encourage you, man, it's time to seek them. Like whatever relationships you currently don't have, let's seek them. Maybe you have relationships and you feel like, hey, man, like I'm covered. I've got some relationship with some great people. If you are not where you desire, you do not have the relationship in your life covered. Like if you do not have the kind of life that you desire, there is a relationship that you've yet to create. Facts. Like it's all boiled down to, there's no more information that you can get. The information is all out there. It's all out there. It's not relation. If it was information alone, everybody would have everything that they've read about in a book. If it was just relationship alone, everybody would be able to accomplish anything by simply reading a book, listening to a course, going to a conference, going to a seminar. You would be able to. It's not just relationship, or it's not just information. It's definitely a relationship. All right. And so, man, that's all I've got for you in this episode. Man, if you enjoyed this, please give this podcast a rating and review. Listen, y'all, it truly helps to get the word out. It's really the only way that this podcast gets out. It's really the only way that this makes sense to continue to create content and create something for you and to encourage you is that, man, that you just share this with anybody. So always remember, give this podcast a rating and review. Please, if there's a part of this that encouraged you, please share this on your social media. Share this on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Please tag me in it. And as always, we believe here that life is all about the pivots, and those who decide to make the pivots decide to become successful. I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.